He was lost in the Himalayas. No tent, no food. 1 foot shattered, ribs broken, and no clue where he was. For 9 days he wandered the world's deadliest mountains, completely alone. And somehow, he lived to tell the story. Samuel Vengrinovich wasn't trying to tempt fate. He was just hiking, a quiet solo trek in the Indian Himalayas. That was the plan. He'd done these kinds of trips before, always careful, always calculated. But in June 2025, something went wrong, very wrong. He'd been making his way down a rocky ridge near the remote village of Khyber, high in the Spiti Valley, altitude over 14,000 feet. The path was narrow, the wind was brutal, and at one critical moment, the rock beneath him crumbled. Samuel fell, not far, maybe 15 feet, but far enough. He slammed down hard, face first, onto jagged stone. The impact broke multiple ribs and completely shattered 1 foot. He was instantly immobile, in shock, bleeding, and alone in one of the most unforgiving regions on Earth. There was no cell signal, no passing hikers, and no one knew where he was. His backpack had flown out of reach in the fall. Inside it, his food, satellite beacon, and survival tools. He couldn't stand, could barely move, and the sun was already going down. That night, temperatures dropped below freezing. He used his jacket to wrap his foot, curled into a ditch, and tried to survive until morning. But what Samuel didn't know yet was that he wouldn't be rescued the next day, or the day after that. He was going to be out there for 9. By day 2, reality set in. He wasn't just injured, he was lost, in one of the most desolate regions on the planet, with no way to call for help. Samuel couldn't walk. His foot was mangled, swollen to double its size. Breathing hurt, every inhale stabbing his chest from the broken ribs. He crawled on his elbows and knees, dragging himself inches at a time toward where he thought the trail might be. But in the Himalayas, the landscape plays tricks. What looks like a path could lead you straight off a cliff. With no food, he started eating snow. His water bottle was cracked, but he managed to drink runoff from melting patches of ice. Nights were brutal. Temperatures dropped well below 0 Celsius. He had no tent, no fire, just a ripped jacket and raw determination. And somehow, he stayed alive. Each day he moved a little farther. He screamed for help, knowing there was likely no one for miles. He hallucinated, lost track of time, talked to himself. He thought about dying, but he wasn't ready to give in. At one point, desperate, Samuel built a crude SOS sign out of rocks, hoping a helicopter might fly overhead. But the sky stayed quiet. No one was looking, not yet. What he didn't know was this. Back in town, his Airbnb host had realized something was wrong. Samuel hadn't returned, and he'd left no note. On day 5, someone finally alerted the authorities. But by then, Samuel had already been crawling through the mountains for nearly a week, with zero idea that help was even coming. When Indian police got the call, they didn't waste time. A foreign hiker missing in the Himalayas? They knew what that usually meant. A search team was deployed, trekkers, officers, locals, sweeping the vast alpine terrain around Khyber village. But they didn't know where to start. Samuel hadn't left a route plan. The area was enormous. He could have slipped off any ridge, any path, any crevice. They searched for 2 days. No trace, no gear, no footprints. Most assumed the worst. But by sheer luck, a pair of volunteers decided to scout a lesser-known route. An old shepherd's path down a ravine most hikers avoid. And there, slumped against a rock, barely conscious, was Samuel. 9 days after he'd vanished. His lips were blue, his hands frostbitten. He'd lost nearly 20 pounds. His foot was swollen beyond recognition, and he could barely whisper. But he was alive. The rescuers carried him out on foot and rushed him to a hospital in Manali, where doctors immediately began treatment. His body was shutting down. He was severely dehydrated, malnourished, and suffering from acute hypothermia, but they stabilized him. And when he finally came to, Samuel's first words were just one thing. Did I survive? Quick break. We make videos about real stories that sound made up. From survival to strange true events, if it actually happened and it's unbelievable, we cover it. So if you're into that, hit subscribe. It helps more than you know. All right, let's get back to the video. Samuel's recovery took weeks. Doctors treated frostbite, set his broken ribs, and performed surgery on his foot. But the fact that he survived at all, without food, shelter, or even painkillers, shocked everyone. In interviews, he admitted he had prepared for this trip. He was an experienced hiker, but he never expected a simple slip to nearly kill him. What saved him wasn't gear. It wasn't a rescue beacon or a GPS signal. It was sheer, brutal willpower, the instinct to keep crawling, keep breathing, keep hoping, even when nothing made sense and no help seemed possible. Real story that sounds made up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. If you want more stories like this, we've got another one waiting for you right here.